Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In the Know. This is our series that's digging into all the details on a variety of topics about the 2025 World Conference. My name is Jenn Killpack, and I serve the church as Director of Communications.
And I am Susan Naylor, and I serve as the World Church Secretary and First Presidency Office Director. And we both serve as members of the World Conference Directors Team.
Today, we are going to be talking about a few of the extra activities that happen around the legislative and worship elements of conference, and they help fill in the schedule and make this event just really, truly special. So, and as you can see today, we have a lot of special guests with us.
It is so nice to have all of you with us, and we will get more details about our guests as we talk about the different elements and activities. But right now, let me introduce you all to Tammy Lindle Lewis, and maybe Tammy can wave, or as I call your name, Tammy Lindle Lewis, Mikki Philippe, yay, Humberto Tinsman, and Jamie Varvaro. So welcome, you guys, and thanks for joining us.
Tammy, we are going to start with you today. Tammy serves on the Formation Ministries team and also is a member of the World Conference Directors team. And one of her responsibilities at World Conference is organizing the Lunch and Learn sessions, kind of a new favorite of conference attendees. So Tammy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is a Lunch and Learn session and what can people expect to this conference?
Sure. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be with you today. So Lunch and Learn sessions are just times that we can gather between legislative sessions during the lunch break. And they are a chance to gather and hear about various topics that might interest you. And these sessions are an hour long. They last from 12:30 to 1:30. And they're nice because they allow you to stay on site and get lunch and be able to return to the conference chamber before the afternoon legislative session begins, instead of fighting the parking lots or racing to a restaurant. So all the sessions are held in the temple, and there are somewhere between 4 or 5 choices each day for you to select from. And our days of doing this are going to be Tuesday to Thursday. And so what you would do, you'd bring your lunch. There are grab-and-go lunches available for you that you can use a meal ticket if you purchase those, or you can purchase a lunch. Those will be available at the temple, and that hopefully makes it easier for you just to grab your lunch and come on in and find your place, and you'll be eating during the session while you're learning. And some of the topics that we have to choose from, we'll be hearing from some of the World Church standing teams, like the Earth Stewardship team, our Diversity and Inclusion team, and then we'll have a few sessions from the Peace and Justice team. And then we have other groups or teams from around the church who have found various success in some of their mission activities, and they'll be there talking to us about climate action and some justice and peace action groups. We have a special group coming from Europe who will be talking with us about lessons in nonviolence as we reflect on the 80th anniversary of World War II. And another session that talks about just peace in Palestine and Israel during that conflict. We'll meet the authors of 2 new peace and justice focused books in another session. And then we've got a team from Canada who's going to be talking to us about how to make tools to create connections in our spiritual landscape today. Then we've got some new resources that are coming out that you'll hear about, some new connections. And one of those is a basic beliefs commentary book that's been authored by Tony Chavala-Smith, and Peter Judd has helped with editing that. And they'll be available to chat about that new resource. And for the first time in many, many years, we have a new children's ministry team. We haven't been able to dedicate a focus on children's ministry beyond the children's lessons that we produce for many years. And so that team will be available, and you can come and meet that team. So we're excited about that. And then one of the other neat projects that we have going is a new lectionary catalog where we're gathering the worship resources that you're used to seeing, the sacred space, Witness the Word, and our lesson series for children, youth, and adult. We're creating a new online catalog that will be searchable by scripture and by the lectionary. And so we'll be there to talk to you about how to find your way through that new resource. So we're excited about all of this and look forward to those who can join us for these Lunch and Learn sessions.
Those sound amazing, and I'm guessing it's going to be really hard to pick which ones people might want to attend. At this point, I don't think there's any plans to record those. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they're usually just a one-off session. We may be doing some translations at one or two of them, but typically they're just attended by English-speaking crowds. One of our kind of downsides on that is we would hope to engage more with the wider church.
Yes, always a challenge when we're dealing with international and multilingual opportunities. Do you anticipate that like specific information about where to get meals, your grab and go lunch, like that will all be available a little bit closer to conference? Is that correct?
Correct. We'll probably have announcements in the daily bulletin. Maybe if we get our act together, they'll be in the early bulletins, the Saturday or the Sunday bulletin that we'll have. But watch for those announcements. It'll tell you how much the lunches cost, where to find them. We maybe even have a menu for them as the time unfolds. So
great. Thanks for all that information. We really appreciate you being here today.
You bet.
Can I just follow up with a question, Tammy? Did
Sure.
I also understand the PB is going to do a session?
Oh, you
maybe
did.
About generosity or something
You
like
did.
that, about funding mission?
I didn't go far enough down on my little list of things.
That's what happens when I have a cheat sheet.
Me too. I didn't scroll far enough. Yes, we have two other sessions that I didn't talk about. And one is the presiding bishopric will be talking to us about funding for the future and abundant generosity. So we'll want to connect with them for sure. And then we've got a meet and greet with folks who are involved in the USA campground board. So if you're a member of a campground board or association and want to connect, this would be a great time to do that as well. So thank you, Susan, for connecting me.
You're welcome. I could hear the PB in my ear going, tell about us. So
I was thinking I'd gotten through it a little quicker than I thought, but
well, those all sound like amazing things to happen over lunch. And I know that conference is a kind of, it's a marathon as we go. And I will admit up front that I am starting to do more walking personally and trying to get a little more in shape. And so I encourage people. I know everybody wants to do everything, and so it takes a little bit of preparation. So thank you, Tammy. I wish I could go to some of those, but that's not going to happen. So let's continue on. Part of what makes conference such an amazing event is getting a chance to meet other people in similar life stages from around the world. Here we have this international event and providing opportunities for us to meet each other and to continue in relationship. Our next two guests are representing teams creating special activities during the week. Mikki is the new young adult specialist for Community of Christ, and she started in this role a few months ago. And during conference, she's working with Melissa Shear and a group of young adults. So welcome. And we look forward to, tell us a little bit about what you're anticipating and who, how big is your team that you have working on this event?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Susan. So Melissa and I are working together with, I think there's like 10 or 15 other young adults from across the world who are planning some events for us to all get together over conference. We plan to have like 4 to 5 solid events, not one every night, but most nights of the week, for people in our generation to connect and ask questions and just encounter the spirit with each other. So we're kicking off the week with a community meal and a game night. And then throughout the week, we'll hang out. We can sit with each other during services. We plan on having a coffee shop, maybe possibly also an open mic night together. We're having a roundtable discussion with world church leaders this year again, and we'll close out the week on Friday evening with a sending forth service put on by young adults that is also open to high school youth, just to get a chance to see that young adult ministry is thriving in the church.
That sounds awesome. Let me just ask a question. How do you define young adults, Mikki?
Like 18, like post high school graduation, 18 to 35-ish. We're also not picky because we understand there are people who are young at heart. And the events we're planning are also kid friendly in case anyone wants to bring their littles.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. Great group of people to hang out with. I got to have lunch with Mikki yesterday, and so that was a lot of fun. And different ways for young adults to connect with each other and ways to start new friendships. And we know with the internet and the way people connect anymore, those friendships don't just stay at conference, they travel around the world and continue into the future. So while we know we have people of all ages that would probably enjoy them, what age group? Oh, I already asked that question. So, but you did talk about 18 to 35, and important that if you have littles, that age group comes in all different shapes and forms. And so they are a very welcoming group. So thanks, Mikki, for you and your team. So Jen, I'm going to kick it back to you.
Thank you. Mikki, I for sure am not in that age group, but I probably will at least pop by the door of one of those events to just say hi and give hugs to some of my favorite people. So that's your warning, I guess. Our next guest is Humberto Tinsman. He's been serving the Congregation and Mission Center in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And next week, he is starting a new job with the Formation Ministries team at headquarters, and he's going to be focusing on children and youth ministry. We're super excited about that. But today he's representing the group planning events for youth at conference. So welcome, Humberto.
Hi, everyone. It is great to be here and so great to be on the In the Know sessions. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So like Mikki explained kind of what age group her activities and plans and team is planning for. Tell us a little bit about the age group that your team is planning for.
Of course. So our team focuses on youth, but also youth leaders who are attending World Conference and is an excellent way to connect with those who are in that age category, but also are trying to support throughout the week. So if you're a young person or you are supporting youth, we have something planned for you throughout our conference experience.
Well, that sounds very exciting. So tell us about maybe some of the things that some of the plans you're cooking up and when those things will be happening during conference.
Of course. So our team is leading the Youth Caucus. That's kind of our more established presence at World Conference. Now, Youth Caucus is a little bit of a misleading term because, obviously, all are always welcome. But our caucus is more specifically designed for 23 and under. So if you're not serving in a priesthood office and have a priesthood caucus or gathering to join, you're always more than welcome to join in with us at Shalom Place, where we're going to discuss issues that matter to you, meet some friends, and of course, just have a great time. As Tammy already shared, on Tuesday, we're hosting a lunch and learn to share about exciting projects that the Children's Formation Ministry team has been working on. We also plan to attend some of the priesthood gatherings as well. So if you can't make that lunch and learn, we hope we'll be able to connect. But obviously, we're always available for good conversations throughout the week. And then later that night on Tuesday at 9 p.m., we're also planning on hosting the Pizza and the President event also at Shalom Place. Hopefully, we're still working out those details. So if you haven't attended the Pizza and the President event, this is a fun and casual opportunity to ask your questions, to get to know Stacey Cram. Of course, depending on how the conference votes all unfold, but it's just a great chance for if you are a young person, even if you're a delegate or just attending conference, to get your questions asked and to know that you have a space at this table.
Nice. That sounds super fun. I know, so sometimes there are kids who live locally or may just be here for, part of conference, like opening weekend. Are they invited to come to some of these activities if they're still in town, or is it only for conference, like delegates or attendees?
Great question. So we would love for anyone who is in the Independence area to come. We will have a space and time for you. And even if you can't attend in-person conference, because we know we're a worldwide event, we are planning to have the Pizza and the President event offered online via Zoom. Again, we're still working out those details, and we'll be working with the wonderful communications team of getting that link out there. But especially if folks are familiar with the Emerge program that myself and Andre have been starting, this is a natural expression of that program. So Emerge is an online space where senior high students can connect, continue building relationships across the United States, and we're hoping to always expand that ministry.
That is very cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you, Humberto, for sharing with us today. All kinds of exciting things happening, and still in some of those are still in those planning stages. Our last guest today is Jamie Varvaro. Jamie is an evangelist who lives and works in Columbia, Missouri. And Jamie is an event and venue marketing master. That was a mouthful. Let me say it again. Jamie is an event and venue marketing master, and he also is one of the spec directors. He is coordinating a lot of fun activities, informational activities, maybe, all kinds of things out on the World Plaza. So welcome, Jamie.
Yeah.
We have been working together for a lot of time, and Jamie is a good friend of mine. And together we've been working on this vision of what these experiences might be. So tell the people a little bit about what they might expect when they encounter the World Plaza.
Well, it's going to be great. I mean, first of all, I am feeling pretty special about being in the know, and so it's great to be a part of this. And but as far as things that are happening at the on the World Plaza during conference week, there's going to be lots of opportunity for some fun impromptu type things. We're going to have a stage, we're going to have sound, we're going to have a big screen. There's going to be lots of things that you can see and do as you either make the World Plaza your destination, or if you're just walking by and you're just spending a few minutes. It's going to be, and we'll continue to update the attendees of conference about what's happening on any certain day. I'll highlight a couple of things. We've got some evening events coming up during the week, where you can just come and enjoy some music. Tuesday night, we have a duo called Weary Ramblers, and that's Chad Elliott and Catherine Fox. And when I say Chad Elliott, some of you may say, hey, there's some Graceland roots there. And in fact, there are. But I'll tell you, if you hop on Spotify and you pull up Weary Ramblers and listen to their music, they've been getting a lot of notoriety nationally because of their music. They've been touring a lot. What they're putting out music-wise is just phenomenal. And so that's going to be a great night on Tuesday to come and just enjoy some music. We for a while there, we were going to be entitling this kind of a conference after dark, but conference after dark in June might be like much,
Too late.
It's going to take a little while for it to get dark. So we'll just say conference around twilight, that type of thing.
There we go.
But there'll be, and then on Thursday night, we have some other special guests coming called the K Brothers. And in fact, if you want to check them out again on Spotify, or you can go to stompgrass.com and check out who the K Brothers are. They are truly that they their music genre is what they like to call old time Missouri stomp grass. And these guys have a ton of energy. They have great beards. Additionally to they are a lot of fun, a lot of energy. I think people are just going to love seeing the K Brothers. So and again, there'll be something happening during the day on the plaza, most evenings with the exception of Wednesday night, because everybody kind of scatters on Wednesday night, enjoys their night off. But it's just another little thing that's just making conference again extra special this year.
Yeah, I know we're looking for some international music on those other nights, and you and I have talked about maybe having some cornhole out there for people to play around with. Kara and I have been working on getting some tents and some tables and some chairs, so just a place that the community gathers and spends some time. And so, Noelle, that is a really interesting idea.
It's not like we haven't talked about it, so hold on.
Okay. So, but we're looking forward to, I know on Saturday night, we're working on an idea of doing maybe a 30-minute or so little mixer after the service. We come out onto the World Plaza and we spend some time together. We're working on some food elements. What else do you want to add in there, Jamie?
I just think more than anything is just at some point each day, make the World Plaza part of your, maybe you'll be out walking with Susan because she's walking so much these days. But it's true. Just walk on by, and if there's something that just kind of sucks you in, we're going to be very family friendly, and it's just going to be a great place for the community to congregate.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I am so excited about this element. Thank you, Jamie, so much for everything that you're doing and coordinating behind the scenes. This is just another little cherry on the top.
Yeah, we'll have a blast. So stay tuned, everyone.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jamie. I am, like Susan, super excited to see how the World Plaza comes to life this conference. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm looking kind of in the chat and I don't see any particular questions. So our guest today, well done for your sharing, because so far, no questions. I will just say thank you to Kristen and Becca on the comms team, who are kind of monitoring the chats and helping us on the tech side of things. And I saw that they posted just a reminder that there are still some volunteer opportunities and some paid positions that are available for World Conference. So you can check those out. I'm going to put a specific plug in for the conference bookstore. We're looking for a manager, assistant manager, to run the bookstore for the week of conference. So if you have some skills in that, or if you know someone who might be interested, please have them reach out and check out that job description.
You see that question from Heidi?
Yes. Can meal tickets be purchased after you register? Yes, Heidi. If you, I'm going to just say that if you can share your email address with us, then one of our team members can follow up with you on how to make that happen.
Yes.
Let's see.
There's a question from Randy Marsh.
Oh yeah. Anything about the International Village? So what has in the past sometimes been called the International Village was kind of renamed last year to the Mission Expo. And that information, I think we're hoping to have someone join us as a guest in one of the upcoming In the Know sessions. But there will be a Mission Expo this year with exhibitors and tables, and that again will take place in and around the temple complex. So more details about that.
Maybe we can get Joey to come on and be a guest one of these days.
And maybe Julie too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another question about communion servers. Dorothy, were you wanting to be a communion server, or are you wondering like what time practice is, or maybe a little bit more information about your question for serving communion? I'm sure that they are still looking for volunteers. And our fantastic behind the scenes staff has put the link there for volunteers. So if you would like to volunteer, you can go to that form and say that you would like to be a communion server, and then someone will contact you about that opportunity.
Yeah. There is a rehearsal on Saturday night. It is late because of all the other activities. It starts at 9 p.m. in the conference chamber. So
On Saturday.
On Saturday, yes. And that there will be more information coming out if you've signed up to be a server. You'll get all of that information, communication as it's coming along. So
great. Good questions, everyone. Anything else?
Questions. Okay. Well, we'll keep watching the chat here, and if we have another question pop up, we'll try and get that answered. So, hey, Jen, you know what?
Oh no, what?
Do you know it's 66 days until conference?
Woo! I'm so excited and a little bit nervous.
Oh, well, it is coming upon us, but I am so excited. It is fun to see people's names that I know that are watching this. And so we are excited to see everybody come together. And we've heard a lot of great information today. And we want to thank all of our guests again for sharing a few minutes today with all of us. A few reminders as we're closing out. Remember that the early registration ends on April 1, which is next week. Make sure you get registered soon. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to make sure you contact myself or Jen or somebody else, your Mission Center president. We want to be able to help you with that. So here's something to be paying attention. We're hoping that on 1 April, as early registration closes, we're going to launch I don't know if you'd call it a survey, but it is a form that we're inviting people to respond to. It'll have a prompt about what is hope to you? Where do I see? Where do I hear? Where do I feel hope? And there will be a place that you can answer that question. And then we will be using those answers throughout the event. And so we are looking for, I'd love to have a couple thousand responses. And so you can answer once, you can answer more than twice. If you've got a story to tell, it'll have to be brief, but tell us your story. Where do you see hope today? So watch for that coming first part of April. And remember, you can find conference information and registration links at www.cfchrist.org/2005-world-conference. And the link has been put here in the chat. So thank you all so much. Jen, you want to close this out?
I will. I don't see any additional questions in the chat, so I think that will wrap us up for today. Okay. So thanks again to our guests, and thank you for joining us today. We look forward to sharing the next In the Know session on April 7, and we hope you all have a great day. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.